Hello everyone, we're gonna start the class, the 7:30 class, and I prepared this game to show you, the game Kasparov versus Topalov. Very famous game where Kasparov sacrificed many pieces and drove Black's king from a7 all the way to d1 in order to win. There were some really spectacular moves played here, and the game started with e4, d6, d4, knight f6. I mean, a very courageous opening choice by Topalov, because Kasparov opening choice was very, very strong always, and playing the Pirc against him was certainly a little bit risky, but he did play well in this game, and even though he lost the game, he found a lot of great defensive moves, and I think in some point he had chances to perhaps equalize the game. So, that's what he's doing, yes. So knight c3.
Why wasn't he afraid?
Yeah, well, Kasparov was very strong with the white pieces. And you know, his openings are very strong, and this opening is a little bit risky because it's not one of the main openings. Okay. So knight c3, protecting the pawn, central pawn. Now he goes g6. Bishop e3. I will go a little bit faster in the opening here. Queen d2. c6, f3. This is a standard move in this position to protect e4, to stop all the knight g4 ideas, and at some point white is getting ready to play the move bishop to h6. Okay? So b5, yeah. Knight g2, white is just developing his pieces. Knight bd7, bishop h6. Activating the bishop and putting some pressure on g7. Takes. Queen takes h6. Bishop b7. Topalov is developing his bishops now. Bishop now, and just trying to get his development. a3. Important move, a3, to prevent the move b4. Okay? So the point is a3 to play b4. So now he cannot play b4 here because you'll capture it. And e5 by Topalov. Trying to challenge white's center, because white had a very good control of the center. So he's trying just to play e5 to make sure he's challenging the center, okay? Goes long castle. Logical move to put the rook on a d file here. If takes, you take back with a knight, for example. Queen e7, king b1. Why does he play king b1 here? Who can explain the reason why he spent the move here to play king b1? And what kind of move is king b1 here? Prophylactic move, yes. Yes. Why did he play king b1?
Because black was going to open up the c file at some point, and you don't want your king there, and also the diagonal, you're on it, the diagonal with your queen.
Yeah. C file we don't know yet at the moment. Maybe it will open, maybe not. But it's just, if somehow queen sneaks in on a2, it's going to be a big problem. Yeah, it could be some checkmate on a2. So you play this prophylactic move to also move away from the diagonal. It's from general point of view, it's just much better placed here. And nothing concrete is going on here, so he wants to put the king here. And one more thing this move is going to allow white later in the game is to use the c1, b3 square for the knight. So everybody understand why king b1 is played? Okay?
So why did he play queen e7?
What do you mean why? He doesn't want to stay on the d file. Your queen is going to be pinned here. It's pinned, you know, relative pin coming. So that's why it goes king b1. a6 by Topalov wants to play some c5 ideas in some point. And now white needs to bring the knight. You see, that was the main idea. So he can use the knight to go to b3 and also a5. Maneuvering the knight to b3 and to e5 after. Okay? So that's a very, very important idea. So knight c1, castles, knight b3, because he really wants to open the bishop, but he doesn't have a good squares to go to. If you move the knight here, knight has no future. These squares are taken, okay? So you go knight c1 and knight b3. Blocking is a little bit exposed here, so because he pushed his pawns a6, b5, 6, it's a little bit of loose squares here, and the knight is going to be placed here very well. So to go to a5, white is just very slightly better. Even though this was a really masterpiece by Kasparov to win the game, Topalov didn't play bad in this game at all. He actually didn't play bad. You'll see, they were like it was a very close game. Now he realizes the danger here of knight a5 and d5 is coming. Okay, knight a5, d5, so that's why he takes on d4. Rook takes on d4, c5. Yes, black is not going to sit there passively. He's just going to advance the pawns now, attack the rook, and open up the bishop. Rook to d1. Okay? Rook to d1. Knight b6. Topalov is playing active, putting the knight on b6 and getting ready to play d5 and break the center. If he managed to play d5, and at the meantime white doesn't do anything, he's gonna have a very nice position. White is a little bit behind in development. Yeah, this bishop is not developed, the rook is not developed, so white needs to do something here. g3. Now he wants to be able to play this move with the tempo and check the king. King b8. What kind of move is this again? Prophylactic move, okay? Prophylactic. He sees there's some danger, so he goes bishop, he moves the king away to safety, and then so he can play d5. So remember about prophylactic moves. It's basically preventing move, okay? Knight a5 by Kasparov, putting pressure on the bishop. Bishop a8. And bishop h3. Now if Kasparov manages to play one more move in, rook he1, he's going to have a clear advantage, okay? So he just wants to try to get this piece in, so he'll have a nice advantage. d5 comes in. This is the moment to play d5, otherwise you're not going to be able to play this move after the rook comes in, because the capture will occur and the queen is hanging. So d5 is played. Now position is going to get a little bit open. Queen f4 check. Now this move is forcing the move king a7 because you cannot move the queen here. The knight is dropping a knight. If you go here, you run into a fork with e5. You're losing a piece. So same thing with the rook. So he has to go here. And now rook he1, bringing the last piece into the game. Okay? Topalov pushes d4. He doesn't want to open the position, obviously, because his king is in trouble, so he wants to just simply try to close the position. Now, let's think about it. White to play and find a very strong continuation that Kasparov did in this game. Yes?
Knight d5.
Knight d5. Let's see if that's a Kasparov move. Bravo. Yes. Excellent. Knight d5. Attacking the queen, right? Excellent. Now, if he plays knight f takes d5, that just loses. Pawn takes d5, attacking the queen. Now you take here, check. Losing the pawn. Okay? That's why he has to play with the other knight. Also, if you take with the bishop, you lose because of the c6 square. Everyone. You see that? The check. Winning the rook. Okay? So, from now on, it's actually, everything is forced. When you look at the position, you're thinking, if black can take the queens off the board, he might even win this game. Positionally, I mean, if the queens come off, he's got this massive center. Things are looking really good for him if he can just exchange the queens. But Kasparov calculated further here. Calculated further. So let's spend a little bit of time here and try to see if we can find his idea here. If you retreat, he's just going to take the pawn. And then you can even put the knight here, looking great. So that's why this is the moment that you want to spend some time. The crucial moment, okay? Crucial moment of the game.
I so want to check the king that night.
The problem with that move is I just take.
With the bishop.
Yeah, and then you have to take. I take your queen. And yeah, I think this could be some. You lose the pawn. It's a very serious problem here. Knight d5 comes in. Black might be even winning.
Yeah.
So you want to leave that for a little bit later, okay? Leave that for a little bit later, okay? This is the reason why I'm showing you this game, because of this particular moment here. He did something really spectacular, and for the rest of the game, it's just brilliant. Yes. Rook e7 check. I know. I take your queen. That's look idea. That's the idea. Yes.
I have ideas with rook takes d4.
Aha, very good. Ideas. How far did you calculate those ideas?
Not very far. Not far enough.
Well, okay. Well, we're gonna make that, okay? Rook d4. Exclamation mark. Now, if you take the queen, he's gonna take back with the rook. Then he's very happy. So Topalov has to accept the sacrifice. Actually, sorry, I shouldn't say has to. This actually loses. But here, he had a fantastic reply here. King b6, and apparently this holds the game. Because the knight is hanging, and anyway, some computer analysis, but looks like he's holding. That's why I was saying he didn't play bad this game at all. There was just a moment where he could have still have equality, perhaps. King b6. Apparently this is equal. But let's look at the fun stuff now. He takes. Now, what do you do?
Queen takes.
No, this is just bad. Yeah, this just, he takes. He goes here. Check, knight d7. And yeah, I mean, black is just winning here. Up exchange, okay? So that's not going to work here. So now, second sacrifice is going to come into place. Absolutely. One is not enough. Second one is going to come into. Now, Rook e7, correct. Excellent. Check. Second rook sacrifice. Now, he played the correct move, king b6. This is beautiful. If he takes now, check. King has to go here. Check. Can't go here because of the bishop. If he blocks with this, you just say checkmate. You don't even take the queen, you just mate him. If he goes bishop e7, checkmate in
1, 2.
Q.
2.
How?
Knight c6, queen a7.
Checkmate. He cannot take the knight because of the pin, okay? Excellent. So, now, king has to go to b6. And now, queen d4 check. King a5. Look, still there is no checkmate yet. You're down a lot of material, but you need to find a way to mate. Otherwise, you're not going to win this game. So, what's the continuation now?
Where's your name tag?
Now, what is the idea here?
I'm looking for a follow-up after b4 check.
Absolutely f4. Now he comes here. Now, what are you going to play now? You need to get this queen to b3 and the game will be over. How are you going to get there, huh? You're down lots of material at the moment. What are you going to do?
Queen
Queen c3. Just want to come here simple and say checkmate. Queen takes d5, controlling this square and hoping to swap the queens at some point, and then maybe even win the game. What you gonna do now?
Deflect the queen with the rook.
Rook a7,
Always.
attacking him here now. Bishop b7, only move. The only move here, because how else to protect this? If you protect with the queen,
Rook
he simply says checkmate.
Rook d6.
If you go rook d6, as suggested, king b2. Setting up queen b3 mate. And if you try to propose the exchange, I take, you take, I mate. Okay?
That's awesome.
So, Topalov is still not giving up. Bishop b7, only move. The only defense. Kasparov takes the bishop. He's still down a full rook here. If he can somehow, Topalov exchange queens without getting mated, he could win this. Now queen c4. Yeah, he spoiled it here. Apparently, queen c4 loses it. This move was much more difficult to deal with. Okay? So he played queen c4 now. What are you gonna do? Yes.
I have a question.
What's the question? Yeah.
Instead of queen c4, what if he plays queen d1?
Queen d1. That's gonna help us. King a2.
And then queen. Well, yeah.
You don't see that tactic?
Checkmate. Okay. So, queen c4. Yes.
Rook a7.
Rook a7. The problem is he has a rook d1 check now. And then you come up, he's gonna take check and goes back on d6. Okay? Now just take another piece. Now you're only down exchange. And by the way, you're threatening mate in 1 here. So you're catching up with that material deficit. So he goes king takes now.
Well, not rook d1.
Now what are you gonna do? Queen takes a6, king b4. Still there is no immediate mate. Still no immediate mate here. Fantastic move here needed. If you don't play this move, you might even lose the game. Yes, you might even lose it. Because he wants to go rook d1 check, and my king is now exposed. I mean, White's king is also exposed now. So can you find what Kasparov played here? Yes?
c3.
Absolutely c3, yes. By the way, queen cannot capture because it's just going to be a mate. Okay? King cannot come here because
Wait, that isn't mate. Queen b6.
if you go to b3, then it's just check, check, and yeah, okay, bishop f1 wins also here.
No, I just have a question.
So he takes, okay, immediately. Now, see, the king was on a7 when everything started, and it's going to end up all the way to d1 here.
And queen to a1. check.
Queen to a1 check, perfect. Only move. You cannot go to d3, bishop f1 wins. If you go to b4, then just check. If you go to a file, queen a3 mates, or rook a7, queen b3 runs into a typical tactic check. Take. So he has to go here. King d2, and now yes. Now if you go to e3, rook e7 wins. Yeah, if you go to e file, rook e7 wins. So he goes king d1. Now look at that. It started all from e8, it went to a7, and then with this arrows end up on d1. From e8 it went to d1. Now, what is the move now? This is the moment where you need to find another fantastic move.
Bishop F1.
Absolutely, yes.
Always playing
Now, if he takes,
Oh,
Check.
Mate
Mate.
C2.
check,
Two, rook e7.
and the queen.
and then rook e7 mates.
Mate.
Can't go here. If he puts the queen, you take it and mate.
That's a lot.
So he goes rook d2, last efforts. Last efforts now to deflect your your queen. Last efforts here, and now one more special move needed here. Still not over. See, Topalov was very resilient in this game, finding a lot of only moves. I mean, he played impressively, I think, even though he lost, but he defended really tenaciously here.
Rook d7.
Absolutely, rook d7, yes. Deflecting this rook, he takes it,
Take the queen.
take the queen, threatening checkmate. So he's forced to take the bishop.
Take the rook.
And now, you see that rook?
It's all the way over there.
All the way over there, he takes it. Now, queen versus rook.
Yeah, good luck.
It's not over yet. He's not giving up. Black's got some activities. He's got a pass pawn as well. Queen a8 by Kasparov, but he knows how to win this position. He wants to go queen a4 check now, protecting f3. Check. f4 is coming. King c1. Queen a7. Now he wants to give a check on g1 and pick up the pawn here, and that was it. That was it. No hope anymore. No hope in this position for Topalov, and he simply resigned. So this was a really one of the best games played, actually, by many specialists considered one of the best games played.
Was it 3 deflections, 2 deflects?
Several decoys, several deflections. I mean, just really unbelievable. So I want to go back now to the moment where everything started, okay, and go a little bit slowly with you and see how well you remember the ideas, the whole drive of the king, okay? So the whole drive of the king. Let's see if you're gonna get all the correct moves.
That's the up arrow.
Opening moves are not as important to us, so I'm gonna go here. So you have to find about 20 correct moves here. That's very serious, to find 20 correct moves here in a row to win this game. So again, if you don't find the right continuation here, you are in danger, perhaps even to lose this game, because positionally Black is doing great here. He's got those pawns out there, nice majority. Knight is going to capture on d5. He's going to land on e3 next move. I mean, you could be in serious trouble here if you don't play like Kasparov. So, who remembers the move here? Yes? Rook d4. The start of the brilliant combination. He captures it. What about the second move here? You remember that one? Not so many. Okay, you.
Rook e7.
Rook e7. Sacrificing the second rook. That cannot be captured because of the force mate. Once again, if capture occurs, check, mate. Check and mate. Okay? So he takes king b6. Now, continue. King takes a5. Forcing the king. Threatening checkmate. Raise your hand now. Let's say queen d5.
What happens if he plays
Bishop takes d5. Suggestion, everybody. Bishop takes d5. Easy finish now. Easy, right? With unstoppable finish, queen b3. See? You're going to even win my queen, but that's not that's not important because of the checkmate. See that? That king is mated. You see the idea? It's not strength right there. So he goes here. Rook a7, attacking the pawn on a6. Bishop b7. Rook takes bishop. And here, yeah, he should have played rook he1. And it's not so clear here. I think white is probably still winning, but it's just a lot more complicated. Okay? But he went queen c4. Now, what did he do here? What did he do now? Yes, now you're threatening to take on a6 with the mate. King to a3.
Takes a6. C3.
Check.
Queen b2.
Absolutely, bishop f1. Attacking that queen, absolutely. And now, rook d2. Deflection.
2 in a row.
2 in a row, huh? Deflecting it. Now he takes it. And imagine at the end of the line, the rook is hanging. If this rook wasn't hanging, black could have been winning here. Seriously, I mean, he had to see all this.
See all of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to ask him until when he saw it, you know. But it would be very interesting to ask him this question: that when he sacrificed the rook, rook takes d4, until when? How far did he see
I
it?
think he saw that. That's insane.
Now he takes, and now one more time, rook d3 comes in, trying to win the pawn on f3, queen a8, check, pushing the king away, f4, protect your pawn, protect your pawn, king c1, don't let him get there, rook d2, and now, excellent job, yes. So that's Kasparov game, okay? Kasparov-Topalov game, okay? So you can find this game and online in many places, okay?
What year was it? The 90s?
99. Yeah.
But that's not in the 21st century.
Oh, it's okay. It's close. It's close. It's one of the best games played.
We'll title it something
Yeah,
else.
yeah. It's actually I don't think there was a better game played after that. So this is yeah. It's really a treat to go over this game because it's really fantastic. Okay. Yeah.
2000 doesn't count.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's do a couple of difficult studies. Okay. Or we'll see. We have some good students here who were solving the easy ones. So let's get to the hard stuff now. They were saying too easy. Okay, let's go this one. White to play, listen carefully. White to play and win. White to play and win. You've got a lot of pieces, but the problem is he's got two threads. Check and take. So he's got two very important threads here. Okay? So let's try to see what can we do here. Aha, we have one. We have the entire thing.
I have a pretty good idea.
Okay. All right. Let's see your idea.
Rook d1.
D8, you mean?
Yeah, so check and
That's one.
Yeah. Well, also, you have to know what to do if he plays king c1.
King c1, it's easy. Bishop e2,
Yeah,
and the game is over. Yeah. Takes
actually not.
and just check and wins easily.
so after. Okay, so after
The
this,
problem is king e1 now. What do you do now?
yeah.
If you move the king, then he takes here, and then
Yeah.
it's going to be a draw because
Yep.
with the bishop you cannot checkmate.
Right.
You need another piece to checkmate with. This is another example of where your own piece is causing a problem here. If this guy wasn't here, he would just come up and just pick up the pawn. Sometimes you have that. Your own piece is causing problem. Okay?
On E8,
Correct.
and then the bishop.
But I refuse to take though. I don't want to take your knight. Because if I take the knight, then you're going to check me and you're going to come up here and pick up my pawn and win the game. So I will not take your piece.
Yeah, but your bishop.
But what happens if it takes?
Take loses, rook d8 check.
Make him take the knight with,
And then if he goes away, king b2, and if he goes here, just come here and sacrifice for the pawn and win. All right.
The next
E2, rook E2.
It's a special move. It's a very, very special move here that you need to find. If you cannot find this move, it's going to be a draw. With 3 pieces versus 1 pawn, it's going to be a draw. Very sad draw. Unless you can play this very special idea. Yes.
I wonder if he like can play knight b2 because if he queens and you play king a2, he doesn't have any checks.
She is suggesting this move, everyone.
So I'm not exactly sure what my threatening.
What is your threat though? I mean, are you threatening check or?
Check.
Eh.
Let me see too.
No, I don't think you can win this. I mean, because I can go like maybe something like this. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. But we're getting there. We're getting a little closer now. We're getting a little closer now.
Knight to C3.
Huh?
Knight to C3.
Knight c3. Okay, excellent move. Correct. Now you want to go knight a2, so I must take. I'm sorry. If I take, it's just losing. Okay. So I must queen and say check to you. So now he queened and checked you,
You interpose with the knight.
and you say check you back. So you block the check with the check.
Check.
Kind of unusual. Now he goes king d1. This loses, of course, rook c8 check. But he goes here. Okay? He says, I'm not resigning yet. 2 more moves, and you have the solution. 2 more correct moves, and you will win.
Rook d8 check.
Correct. I can't go here because of the check again, right? I have to go here, no choice. Rook f8. Excellent job. Setting up the mating net. And look at that. Knight is covering all the squares that queen can check here. Unbelievable. And now you're threatening to mate on f1. Only way to avoid that is to go here. And then what do? Check.
Bishop D3.
Correct, yes. And then you win the queen, and you easily win this. Very nice. Or if you know how to checkmate with the bishop and knight, you take on c1 and get a good practice, you know?
But
So-
what happens if you don't know how to check?
You divide before
Well,
that.
if you know the process, I've actually showed a couple of times, I think. Maybe not entire, didn't spend the whole thing, but it's you're gonna be able to win if you know how to
My
do this.
problem
Yes.
is knowing when to get.
Well, this was something different, okay? Something different. White to play and win. But the problem is you're down 3 pawns. So if I can somehow exchange your queen without getting mated, I cannot lose this game. Because you don't have pawns to queen. Very concrete play. And also when you find the main idea, you will learn. You will learn this tactical trick here that white has. In the beginning, it's a forcing sequence, okay? But at some point, then you're going to need to find a strong, quiet move. Forcing sequence, quiet move. Queen h4 or queen f6?
Queen f6 and then
Queen h4 is okay, I just go to g6. But queen f6, I get really close.
Yeah.
Now he comes here.
queen f5.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, you set it up.
And then
One more check. If he goes to the corner, bishop d4 mate, so he goes here. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Now, one more forcing move, right? We have.
Bishop to c5.
Beautiful. Now if he comes here, we have a checkmate. So he has to go bishop d6. And now it looks like he stops it. That's it. No more checks.
Queen to h6.
Queen f6. Queen f6.
Queen h6 loses to... not loses, but he goes king e7. Defense.
Queen f6. Queen f6.
It's not queen f6.
Queen f5.
The correct idea is
queen
queen e5. Cross pin, yeah?
Oh,
Look at that. Cross pin.
I can't think.
He can take your queen, it's pin. He cannot take your bishop, you take the queen. Cross pin, okay? Now you want to take on d6 with a check. So he has to go here. We got to take that bishop first, right? No, but he defends. He doesn't want to just lose it. What are you going to do now? You're going to do the same idea one more time, okay? Same cross pin idea one more time. Check. Check. There you go. Look at that. What do we call that? Cross pin. And the most importantly, you cover the d2 square. That's very important because otherwise I would come there and check you. So you actually cover the square. So that's why you win the game. Okay, well, okay, good job everybody, and thanks for coming for the lecture, and hope to see you next week, okay? All right.